things have changed and progressed, and there's still a long way to go in some areas. But from what I'm observing, it's nicer for women coming up through the ranks, which is great. International Women's Day for a woman in the music industry, and I don't want to get too political about it.
No, fair enough.
You cop a lot of slack, and there was a misogyny when I was kind of coming up through the ranks that you have to endure.
Yeah.
And it's just nice to kind of get to a maturity, and also the changes in the industry where you feel like, an acceptance.
How much has it changed? Has it changed nearly enough? How far does it have to go?
It's changed, but I also do think that younger women in this industry get a harder time. And I think as you get older, there seems to be, like, I used to get interviewed and sometimes it felt like a battle.
Yeah.
And I don't get that anymore. But is that just because I'm old?
Do you think it's also women being in positions of influence within the industry? So you have women who are now running radio stations more than before. You have women who are in more pivotal positions in record companies more than before. Because that's got to be important, hasn't it?
And I think it's just an evolution. It's a really nice... Things have changed and progressed, and there's still a long way to go in some areas. But from what I'm observing, it's nicer for women coming up through the ranks, which is great.
Right, you and this amazing documentary. I haven't heard it yet. I'm going to listen to it tonight at 7 o'clock.
Like that you're calling it a documentary. That sounds much more serious.
Well, whatever you want to call it. It's just an hour of gratitude. It's an hour of reflection, I would imagine. And it's on Virgin Radio tonight at 7 p.m. International Women's Day special with Natalie Imbruglia. Give us some highlights.
Well, it's hard to pick. I mean, you've got a limited amount of time to pick your favourite artists. So I just picked people that I've got funny anecdotal stories who've influenced either my music or just me as a person, people that I might have got to meet or run into in my youth. Like, I loved Joni Mitchell. I remember listening to Court and Spark, High Zero, all these albums when I lived in... I talk about the first time you're introduced to an artist. You can't ever get that back.
No.
Think about some of your favourite artists the first time you heard them when you're young.
It's like
and
magic.
Impressionable. And this is back when you used to look at the lyrics while you were reading the song. So I actually once left one of her songs on a guy's answering machine.
Did you singing it?
Or... It's called Help Me. The lyrics help me, I think I'm falling in love.
Did you sing it or did you play it? Was it her?
I played her song down the thingy and then hung up.
Did you leave your name? Or was it just he had to guess?
No, I just left the...
Did it work?
No. Well, because he probably didn't know who it was.
Who it was from.
Darn that Joni Mitchell. Why is Joni Mitchell calling me?